Good morning. I know everybody gets nervous when a tech guy has a PowerPoint, so I promise to make this as painless as possible. As Brian mentioned, my name is Ben Bullard, and I'm the Executive Director at FuseWorks Studios. And I've been fortunate enough to be in this industry for the last 12 years. I've got to watch the web through its infancy and watch it evolve. And it's come a long way, and it's been quite a ride. So this morning, I just want to take a few minutes and share with you some things that we've learned over that time period, specifically as it relates to website design. So I just want to give you a brief history of website design. I'm not a historian, so it will be brief, I promise. We're going to put on our marketing glasses this morning and look at websites through the marketing perspective and try to evaluate them as a marketer would. I got the permission from one of my good clients to use them as a case study and showcase some of the business problems they had from an internet marketing standpoint and what we've tried to do to address those. And then finally, I'm going to leave you with 10 questions, tips, hints that you can take back to the office and hopefully find some application and find them helpful. So, in the beginning, we had a couple things going on way back when. There was a small percentage of people making a lot of money. I don't know if you remember the dot-coms, or at least there was a perceived perception that they were making a lot of money. We had Amazon and the whole dot-com thing, and the business sector took notice of that, and they wanted some of that money. So they knew they needed a website, but they didn't know why. The other thing was, at that time, IT was the gatekeeper of the website. If there in fact was a marketing budget for the web, it was in the IT budget, and the marketing and salespeople didn't really have anything to do with it, which isn't really a good thing. So they were the gatekeepers of the website. And what we ultimately ended up with was a bunch of online brochures. People were really good at taking their print material and putting it on the internet. So that's kind of what we had. And from a design standpoint, in the beginning, there was really two camps. We had the engineers, and these are my people. This guy right here. My first company, we were a bunch of nerds making websites, and you could tell that we were doing that. There was one in particular, I remember one of our first websites, we made a website for a sheriff's office, and when you hit the web page, a helicopter flew across the screen. It was awesome. We had fly out menus, and the mouse was a pistol, and when you clicked on it, it shot. It was amazing. And it had nothing to do with the website. So why did we do that? Well, we did it because we could. That's why we did it. So if we can look at a website as a house, we were making really foundationally, structurally sound houses, and they looked like, they didn't look very good on the outside. So that's kind of the analogy. The second camp were the real creative people. And in the beginning, these were strong print people. They were really good at doing print pieces, and they were just starting to figure out how do we translate this design to the web. So to use the same house analogy, they were making really great houses that looked well on the outside, but they weren't very well engineered. So that's kind of the paradigm or dynamic we had in the beginning. We had houses that were very well built, didn't look good, and they weren't making money. We had houses that looked really good, they weren't built very well, and they weren't making money. So as the internet evolved, we had this third group starting to take shape, and it was the marketers. They knew they needed a site that looked well and worked well, but it had to be designed around the customer experience, much like Kim was talking about. So this next slide, I want you to pay really close attention to it. It's very complex. It's very complicated. I don't want anybody to get lost. So you have a website. We understand that. We know that we need to drive traffic to it. We understand that. And today, where I'm primarily going to focus the rest of the conversation is on conversion and the importance of measurement. I showed this slide to my wife, and she goes, You described the whole internet marketing lifecycle in 4 circles. It seems like it might be a little more complicated than that. And she's right, but I kind of boiled it down to some core elements today so we could wrap our minds around it. So I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about measurement and conversion. I think a lot of businesses, they produce a nice website, they understand the importance of traffic and sponsored search and organic search, but where we fail to execute a lot is in the conversion and measuring what we're doing. So we're going to spend some time there. With conversion, that's a term that gets thrown around in our industry a lot. There's data conversion in the search engine world. There's clicks per conversion. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot. For today's discussion and from a marketing standpoint, this is the definition of conversion. When a customer executes the marketing objective, plain and simple. When you go to Google and you search, conversion. You go to Amazon, you buy a book, conversion. You go to Expedia.com, you book a hotel, that's conversion. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's essentially where your website starts paying you back and you get return on your investment. That capital outlay for your website, conversion is where you get that money back. That's why we do it. In the beginning, the online brochures, they weren't doing that. There was no payoff. So we're going to talk about conversion and what that means. How do we get conversion? This is a good book to write down if you haven't read it. Seth Godin, The Big Red Fez. I wish I could take credit for the banana, but I didn't. This is a term that Seth coined, and the banana is the key to good conversion. If you can picture a monkey with a red fez, the cute little vest, grinding an organ, and ever wondered, how did they teach that monkey to do that? Well, they did it with the banana. And in much the same way, we can train our customers to do exactly what we want them to do when they hit our website. Because we have 3 to 5 seconds to engage them before they hit the back button. So, how do we prevent that? We show them the banana. The banana is important. This is a site, well, let me show you all the site here. And keep in mind, I'm going to scroll through these next slides. This is not the website. This is their homepage. Can somebody tell me where the banana is? Yep. Wow. There's like so much information there, I don't know what to do with that. I just hit the back button. But by a show of hands, who in here uses a search engine other than Google? So we have a small crowd. This is the billion-dollar banana right there. Google believes so strongly in that banana, they don't dilute their landing page with any other information. You can imagine how valuable that space from an ad revenue standpoint is, but they believe in it so much, they don't dilute it. You don't get into their advertising and other revenue streams until you get into the interior part of the site. So they understand the banana. So that's an example of an organization that didn't understand the banana. This is the company that kind of reinvented the banana. This is a local company that we're working with, and they had a very unique business problem that we had to address. They had a multifaceted customer base, and they had 4 product lines that were very complicated, very complex in nature. And when you got to the landing page, we had to engineer a way that we could take them down a very deliberate path. As you can see, we had to do it with the bananas. There's contact us and the traditional stuff that you see on a website, but we're very deliberate on the path that they take when they land on this site. In my opinion, this is the best mousetrap on the internet. I went to get a screenshot of this and I accidentally bought 5 books. I don't know what happened. But at any given point, you can buy a book no matter where you are on this site, and they've made it so easy that they understand the customer experience and they do it extremely well. So I know it's the political season. This is John Edwards' landing page. The banana for them, they want your email address. They want to engage you in a dialogue. So they've cut out everything and said, hey, this is what we want you to do. This is our banana. Obama, the same thing. Eden Crest, this is the customer I was telling you about. This is a new customer for us. They've been great. They're wonderful. They've let us partner with them and really come alongside them in their marketing initiatives. I'm going to give you just a little bit of background. They're probably the premier real estate company in Tennessee. They have two businesses. One, they sell high-end luxury chalets at about $1 million price point and up. And then their second business is they rent those as a management company for their investors. So they have two very diverse audiences. They have businessmen with income that they want to return on, and then they have the family with 5 kids that want a vacation at Dollywood. So two very, very diverse customer bases. They spend a significant amount of money on marketing, in the tens of thousands of dollars monthly on pay-per-click. All of their advertising is geared toward the internet. We call it a branding navigational unit, a BNU. They use traditional media to send them to their website. And on a routine basis, we see between 55,000 and 70,000 unique visitors a month on this site, and they pay dearly to get those people there. This is their landing page. This page was originally designed to address both of those audiences. And this is another term I'd like you to write down, is friction. Friction is bad on a website. And friction simply means you can give me 1,000,000 reasons to do something, but if you give me one, I'm hitting the back button. And this landing page has a lot of friction. Because when I land here, I don't really know what you want me to do. And I don't know if you know who I am or where you want me to go. If you do happen to see this right here, that's kind of like, well, I guess vacation rentals are there, investment properties are there. So we had a unique problem. We needed to help them create a landing page. Because as I mentioned, they spend tens of thousands of dollars a month to drive traffic to this page. And the first thing we noticed when we brought up their measurement is they had a 65% exit rate off of this page. So we spent all this money to get the traffic there, and they leave as soon as they land. And it's because we don't have a banana, it's not compelling, and when I get to this page, I don't know what to do. So this is a redesign. Oops. This is a redesign of their site. Here's if I could hit the right button. Here is the banana. You want the best vacation deals in Tennessee? Click here. You want to invest and get the best return on investment properties in our area? Click here. So conversion for Eden Crest is book a site, or book a chalet in the mountains, or buy one of our cabins, our high-end luxury cabins. We have a much better chance of engaging them and stopping them from hitting the exit button and getting that return on our investment. Another place we found friction on the site, and we're just now beginning to address this, is their reservations. And this is probably what it should say at the top. How bad you really want to rent this cabin, because this is not fun. We finally got you through our landing page. You've picked the cabin, and now you're going to rent from us, and wow, man, it's painful. This is the equivalent of a shopping cart, and there's a statistic, depending on what information you read, 65% of all shopping carts are abandoned before the purchase is done. And it's because of friction. There's a lot of friction there. So we're helping them work through that process right now. Measurement. I know this seems very commonsensical that you would want to measure something, but we've just been in so many businesses where they do not take the time to measure. And why do you want to measure? If I can draw the analogy to a stock, if you buy a stock, you want to watch it perform, see what it does. Good design in the marketing world goes hand in hand with measurement. We can tell, there's so much information. Google Analytics is free if you don't have it. Most hosting companies have some form of package that has some type of analytics or web statistics that you can read, and a lot of business owners don't do it. This is this is just the front page of Google Analytics. I don't know if this is Eden Crest or not, but just the first page. I think in each Google Analytic report there's about 75. Just on this first page, we can see how many visitors we had, the page views, the average length of time. And as you can manage that, or imagine, that's a pretty important statistic, because if your average stay time is 20 seconds, we're probably not doing something right. We haven't engaged that user. They've hit the back button. We haven't been able to enter into a dialogue or a monologue with that customer. So,
excuse me.
Yes.
Speak up a little bit.
Yes. I'm sorry. So, I encourage you, pull your statistics out and look at them. They're valuable. We get a lot of great information off of them. There we go. And then finally, these are 10 tips. I just want to kind of walk you through them that you can take back with you and hopefully find some type of application, find them helpful. Of course, design around the banana. We have 3 to 5 seconds to engage. It's very important. Use as few, this is one thing that really makes me irritated when I get to a website. Use as few plugins as possible. This would be like going to Target and before you walk in the door, they're like, hey, you're going to need a pickaxe, a shovel, and some jumper cables before we let you in. And no one, I mean, it makes no sense. So don't do that. Limit the options. We saw that example there that I showed you. There are way too many options. They get confused. What do? They hit the back button. Permission simplicity. I hate when I'm filling out my address information and I have to search through Lithuania for my country. You know, just let me put US. Make it easy for your user and not for you. Know your audience. Compelling information is very important. If we're marketing to a 15-year-old girl or a 40-year-old man, we have very different messages and very different ways of communicating to them. They receive information very differently. So understand who your audience is. Know where the friction on your site is and fix it. Get rid of it. It's bad. Shopping carts are typically the worst place for friction. When you have to add an item to the basket twice before you can log out, that's why they have such a high abandon rate, is because of the friction. Test, test, test. And if nothing else on your site works, make sure the money path works. So when they hit buy, make sure you at least are receiving your money. Is my content compelling? Your average stay time will tell you. And a big way, I know Bart's going to address this after me, but we have so many tools, so many new media tools today to engage them. We have video, audio, very compelling methods to engage them. Try to incorporate those as well. The follow-up visit. If at all possible, just like John Edwards and Obama, they want those email addresses. They want your information so that they can market to you. They want to enter a dialogue. They want permission marketing. So if at all possible, do that. And then finally, don't make me log in or join to browse your site. Again, we have a really high abandonment rate when that happens. And again, it's the Walmart example. I go into Walmart, they don't let me in until I fill out paperwork. That doesn't make any sense. So, hopefully you can take those back with you, find them somewhat helpful. And in conclusion, design around a marketing objective, implement your bananas, eliminate friction, convert, 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 and measure, measure, measure. Thank you. I'll get that out of your way, sorry.